G'day everyone, it's me, the anti-theocrat, back with another one. Let's have a look at this story, shall we? This is a corker. I think this pretty much sums up a lot of the shit going on in my own nation, but this is the Daily Mail with a story from the UK. Mother is slammed over photo of her young daughter taking the knee on her doorstep while holding a placard reading "Privileged" during Black Lives Matter protest. You know, I have no problem with saying kids in the modern age are privileged. None at all. You lot will never have to fucking seriously work for anything, you first world kids with all your privilege. But I'm not going to say that this is not something that exists across all demographics in the first world, because it does. I'm a poor man and my kids are privileged. I do everything I can to provide a life for them. Although I have to say, I try to get my kids' hands dirty, get them involved in things. They're still privileged, but that's not what this is about, is it? And this is not serious a Black Lives Matter protest. This is just a fucking beat up. I don't need to read the headline. I'll just move into the story. The mother has sparked outrage after sharing a picture of her daughter taking a knee while holding a placard stating "Privileged" with an arrow pointing up at her child. Is this some form of obscure punishment for the child? I have to ask, because this is a shaming tactic, and shaming is a it can be a really fucking horrendous psychological form of punishment. Sometimes it's deserved, but it's a really like a smack is right. You give a kid a smack, bang, it's done. The punishment's over, and they know they've done wrong. But shaming a child is psychological torture, and this child is being told that if this is where it's going, this child is being told that the psychological torture they must face will be lifelong because of the colour of their skin. This is a really fucking nasty way to punish a child. Helen Leatham from London posted a picture of her daughter kneeling on their doorstep while holding a poster with "Privileged" in rainbow letters and and an arrow pointing upwards alongside Black Lives Matter. So, single mother. I'm not hearing about a father here at all in this picture. I'm hearing some begging to the LBGT and Black Lives Matter. I suspect a progressive single mother myself. Anyway, moving on. She tweeted the picture captioned, "My daughter helping to show our solidarity. Take the knee," which she accompanied, hashtag take the knee, which she accompanied with a raised fist emoji. Look, not my white people. That's all I can say. Not my fucking white people. Get fucked. And by doing this, you are essentially accepting a new form of original sin on my part. And get fucked. Just not my white people. Right? I hold no original sin. I've been an atheist all my life. I do not agree with any other previous forms of original sin. I do not adhere to this religion's idea of original sin. You can all get fucked. Not my white people. Yeah. The post, which went on to be shared by another Twitter user, Sydney Watson. "Hey Sydney, I'm a viewer and you are famous." Look, I don't know. I take Sydney the way I take most people lightly. There's a few people I take to very well online. Sydney's all right. But she's a traitor. She is a traitor. I know she's half Yank, but she is a traitor by moving back to America. So, hey, Sydney, very politely, fuck you. No, get on with it. It quickly went viral online. Wow, Sydney, you've got the power. And many people criticising Helen for the image. Yeah, she fucking deserves it, as does everybody else in this position. Okay, this is the tweet. Helen Leatham, my daughter helping to show our solidarity. Fuck off. Hashtag not my white people. Several officers have adopted the pose in support. This is police officers, they are saying here, have adopted the pose in support of anti-racism protests in London. Not hashtag not my police. Sorry about that, tickle in the throat. Which was sparked by the death of George Floyd, which at this point we can say George Floyd was a known troublemaker in the US and are now sweeping the world. George Floyd is a known, right? He wasn't an innocent party. I've posted a few times of a white man who died in the US in the same way, and he was the one who'd called the police when he was pinned to the ground and died under a police officer's knee. In both of these cases, the first thing my wife thought when I mentioned them was, how the fuck do you get pinned under a police officer's knee? What did you do? Now, I'm a 6 foot tall guy who's had long hair since the age of 18, and most of my life I've worn a beard. I wear an awful lot of black clothing, which is very much a male thing, but I also wore long trench coats and things in my younger years. It was extremely common for me to get picked up by the police. I was always polite. And by the way, I was no perfect person. I was doing drugs. Quite often I'd be pissed. I was not doing, the perfect image of sweet, loving person. I was doing some pretty fucked up shit back then. I rode a motorcycle for years. I don't hold a motorcycle license. But that was a long time ago. Don't come looking for me, Mr. Police Officer. It's well beyond any time you can get me. But yes, in my youth, I was a bit of a tearaway, but I was always polite. Always nice to the police when they pulled me over. I'd say hello. I'd be friendly. I get pulled over for a breathalyzer now. I'll have a joke with the police officer. A gentle joke. I won't be mean in the joke or anything like that. How the fuck do you get pinned to the ground under a knee? How much do you have to have pissed a police officer off for him to be not only wanting to do that to you, but we're willing to do it on camera, assuming that he's not going to kill you and is not going to be in the shit over this, that he's just pinning you down because you've been an ass. Both of the guys that I've mentioned, a white guy and a black guy, I feel nothing for them. What did they do? The white guy called the police, but was he an utter ass when they got there? Well, I don't care. I don't care about either of them having died. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. But one thing this isn't is a race issue. Because still more white people get killed, and still white people get killed this way. This has been beaten up massively by, Antifa, we can definitely say, is behind some of the way this has been beaten up. And I would bet that the supposed Black Lives Matters protests happening in Australia and the UK have also been beaten up by Antifa. But anyway, I will move on. Not my police officers. If you're getting down on your fucking knee to beg forgiveness for being white. 4 black police officers have been killed by rioters in the US of A. Do you hear anyone fucking getting to the knee for that? Do you see any of the people who killed them? And black people killed some of these people who have been killed. Do you see them getting to the fucking knee? Don't be a fucking dick. Not my dick. Hashtag. This is the first time police in the UK have used the bold stance, and those that did outside Downing Street were applauded with whoops and cheers from the crowd. Yeah, the fucking crowd of people they were pandering to. Hashtag not my fucking police. However, people did respond to the mother's decision to claim that the child was not old enough to know the meaning behind the message. Yeah, exactly. This is how we end up with trans kids. Just for the fucking record. But, yes, this... You might have explained this to your children, though, your child, though, didn't you? Which brings us back to my first question. Was this some sort of obscure psychological punishment? And if you didn't mean it that way, does it come off that way anyhow to your child? When you explained to your child that her white skin meant she had more privilege than the poor black people or the poor black man who was an innocent, a sweet innocent man who got killed by a police officer, that her life, because of her skin colour, means that she has to have the torment of this guilt. So did your punishment, maybe not intended, turn out to be that anyway? Fucking hell, I'm an at-home parent. Seriously, you've got to consider the messages you're giving your children. Dr. Karen, whatever, tweeted, "I sincerely hope this mother just did this for the photo op and the kids don't actually know what any of this means." And this is a point I've been making. All this fucking virtue signalling. It's not about George Floyd. None of you know anything about George Floyd. None of you know anything about the white guy whose name won't come to my fucking mind, because I don't give a fuck who that is. And the only reason I don't give a fuck, I know who George Floyd is because it's sitting in front of me, because I don't give a fuck. But you don't give a fuck either. You might know this guy's name now, but you don't know the other guy. You don't know the 4 police officers who died at the hands of these protesters. We'll just call them rioters, shall we? You don't give any more of a fuck than I do. This was just for a photo op. This was for you to get your fucking brownie points. And yes, I realise what I just said, brownie points, because that's what you're fucking buying. This is for you to get your moment in the sun and make yourself look special. And especially virtuous. More virtuous than all those other people out there. More virtuous than me, because I just don't give a fuck. The problem is I don't give a fuck about your virtue either. But that's what this was about. This was about you getting your little bit of virtue. And in the meanwhile, you've committed an act of horrid punishment, torture on your child. If you live your entire life with shame of who you are, particularly with the things you cannot change, you won't really be living a life at all. Exactly why this is a psychological torture, even if it wasn't intended that way. If this is the message you are putting in your child's head, you are not a good parent. And Marie, whatever, added, Helen Leatham should not use her child like this. Shame on Helen. Another person commented, that's as bad as beating a dog that has no idea what it did wrong. None of these people are wrong. One added, so sick and twisted. Child should be exposed to politics until late high school, early college. I sort of agree with that. I think you can teach a child principles and ideas of politics and economics and other things without directing them politically. And this is very much a political direction, which is why hashtag not my white people and hashtag not my police. Because the police should not be taking a political side in anything. They should not be siding with anyone or showing that they give more of a fuck than the rest of us than anyone. Or anyway, this is just the tweets. I'm going to skip by them. And every one of those tweets, I agree with it. I agree. And yeah, they all come out off for Sydney Watson. Hey, Sydney, credos to you. A fourth wrote, her expression is the most likely telling apart how ridiculous this is. Well, I've seen the picture of the child, and it's a somber looking face, but you won't get it from this article, so that makes no sense to have included. The Take a Knee movement started in the US with NFL star Colin Kaepernick, and has become a symbol of anger and solidarity against racism across the world. It was just a fucking virtue signalling thing from him as well. Come on, grow the fuck up. It was about as meaningless. I mean, did Colin Kaepernick give any of his fucking millions of dollars for his contract in whatever fucking sport he plays? What is it? NFL? What's that? No fucking losers here. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck it is. Anyway. It'd be Football League, wouldn't it? So that American fucking useless football. Gee, I hate watching that shit. Gridiron. Did he give any of his money to black communities? Is he doing anything with that? Or is he just fucking virtue signaling? I can tell you which it is. Colin Kaepernick is just fucking virtue signaling. And that's what you're all copying. You're all copying the virtue signal. You're all saying, I've got the virtue too. You don't give a fuck about any of this. You just want to be seen to be special. And I can tell you, these people here, they have colour in their skin. I don't know, they've got some pigment going on. They just want you to fucking beg to them. They want you to virtue signal to them. So they can tell you how fucking pathetic you are. Make you look pathetic. Make you look like the piece of shit you are. Hashtag not my fucking police. In the US, officers recently started taking a knee in support of protesters following a day of unrest after Mr. Floyd's killing at the hands of police. Are they taking that same knee in respect for the 4 dead black police officers? The ones I know of. There might be more, but there are at least 4 dead black police officers at the hands of the protest, at the hands of the rioters. They taking a knee to that? Are they? Again, it's just virtue signalling. And you're not allowed to show that you support dead black police officers. They're the wrong black police. They're the wrong black people for these people. These people, if these were black people, these people would be abusing them just the same. There's some brilliant footage out there of black Americans. I will put it that way. I'm not going down the fucking POC or African American. As a couple of the guys online have made clear, they're not fucking African. They've never been to Africa. They're Americans. Right? So, there are plenty of videos of black Americans pointing out exactly the hypocrisy of this shit. These people don't care they're hypocrites. They just want you to pander to them. Okay. Getting off the woman, we've got a little tag down here. Officer who took the knee outside Downing Street says he did it because my colleagues are not racist and it was a nice gesture. So you fucking took it upon yourself to virtue signal for other white people. You took it upon yourself to accept original sin for other white people. That makes you worse than I possibly could have thought had you done this for yourself. But you claimed to have done it for other people. And that's where my problem lies. Because I am a lifelong atheist. I have never accepted original sin in any form. I do not accept you bending the knee for me as if it's just a nice gesture. You are virtue signalling and you are taking it upon yourself to do so for other people. Hashtag not my fucking police. Get off your fucking knee, you dipshit. A London police officer who took the knee outside doing it down. Yeah, officer who was the officer who is based in North London said, I did it because at the end of the day, we're all one. Well, then why the fuck did you get to the knee as if somebody else is better than you? Somebody else deserves more respect than you. We are not all fucking one while you are begging forgiveness, which is exactly what this position is meant to portray. You are making yourself lesser. And you're doing it on my fucking behalf, on the behalf of other white police officers. Police are generally advising their senior officers to refrain from any behaviour that might bring in their impartiality into question. Yes, that too. Exactly. Because you are showing your impartiality. And I think you should be kicked the fuck out of the force for your impartiality. And the UK police force has some fucking big issues to answer around the idea of impartiality. From rape gangs to fucking online censorship, you've got questions to ask about your lack of impartiality. But this is just one more fucking strike against you, isn't it? But the officer said, I know I'm not a racist. That's what all the racists say. Just before they say, but white people are superior, or white people owe black people something, or I'm going to bend to the fucking knee. I'm not a racist. And I know my colleagues are not racist. Yeah. So why not? Because it's fucking virtue signalling, it is accepting of original sin, and you are a fucking racist. You are racist towards your own kind. You are racist towards black people because you are in some way saying they are your inferior and you need to offer them a hand up. This is really one of my big issues with this, is how many of these people are just fucking jumping on this and treating it as if what they're doing is good for black people, when everything they appear to do is exactly the same as the feminists saying to women, you're less than men. You're less than men. You need to get up. You need men to help you up. When you do shit like this, what you're saying is, oh, you black people, you're less than me. You black people, you're so much less than me. We need to give you a hand up. I object. I object because I really am not a racist, and I do not think these people need my hand up. If anything, I would rather we stop giving them as much of a hand up, because I live in Australia. I live in a heavily populated, Aboriginal population region. I was educated alongside Aboriginal people, and I see what welfare dependence does. It ruins people. When you give people too many fucking too many rungs on the ladder, free of charge, they never seek to go higher. Stop fucking pandering to people. You treat them like they're children. I came into the job to help people, and it was a nice gesture. A few of us decided to do it. Oh, so you were just joining in the fun. Because you didn't want to be seen as not one of the virtue signalers, did you? Oh no, you don't want to be one in the out crowd. Oh no, that'd be terrible. Look, it is not a nice gesture. It is a fucking horrible gesture. In so many ways, it is a fucking horrible gesture. And it doesn't help anybody. You want to help people, then help to create situations where the law is being adhered to. And you know what I see here? Not one fucking person wearing a... Well, there's a mask, but nobody practicing social distancing. And this happened on the same day that news came that the UK had just banned people from getting together in their own houses for a casual route. Right? At the moment, you can't be in your own home, in your own bedroom, with somebody that you met to have a quick shag. But you can do this. And you're bending the knee to this shit. In every possible way. This is a terrible image. Hashtag, not my white people. Hashtag, not my police. And that's how I'll be tagging this fucking video. Anyway, that's it. I've got nothing more. I just discovered this one in my wanders, and I thought I'd have a go. Here's the horrid woman who's torturing her daughter. We'll leave you on that image. See, look, doesn't she look just happy with herself and what she's doing with her life? It's good to play out all your your torture fantasies on someone else. It's good to have a little person to do it on, isn't it? Sorry, I'm going to leave that there. I know that was probably a fucking long throw to take that one. But really, what this woman did to her daughter is in no way short of emotional torture. Because even if she had to explain that sign, explain what happened to cause her to think that this was a good idea, she put her daughter in a very bad emotional place. A place that she may not recover from. A place that is nothing short of emotional blackmail, emotional torture, emotional, you want to call it whatever you will, it doesn't matter. Alright, I'm out. I've been the anti-theocrat. May your gods remain fictional, and I will see you in the next one. Hashtag not my white people. Hashtag not my police.